Hello, this is Greg Allison with Bring Greg's Garden and Worm Farm, coming to you on the night of 17 August 2020 with a report of two things that are very disturbing coming out of our good old friend Xi Jinping, the CCP. You know, I hate to get sound some kind of broken record here, keep talking about these guys, right? Well, it just so happens that there's two things afoot that you need to be aware of. One of them is that former top U.S. military officials have claimed that China, Xi Jinping, to take Taiwan in 3 days, and they expect this to happen by mid-January. And on top of that, it seems that the CCP and PLA are putting out warnings to the United States to not interfere with Hong Kong should they take aggressive measures there. What is cooking? Is China prepared to pounce? My gosh, we're going to get into that, and we're going to get into some detail. But first, I'm going to say, look, my friends, this is the time to prep. You better do it now, because these kind of things could take down our power grid. You may not be able to go anywhere and buy anything. And at that point in time, what you got is all you got. And for that reason, I would highly advise you to consider going to prepwithgreg.com. Prepwithgreg.com takes you to my link into my Patriot Supply and gives you a special deal that you won't find if you go to that site yourself. $100 off of a 4-week food supply. That helps my channel and will help you too, because it's a great discount. It's awesome what you can get. Think, this is 25-year storage food. $100 off. I mean, we're talking basically you've got a month's worth of food for $197 for one person. Wow. And it lasts 25 years. That's hard to beat. You get 2,000 calories per day. I mean, if you look at what you're getting with this, is you're getting breakfast, lunch, you're getting a dinner, and you're getting desserts and drinks too. So it's an amazing, amazing thing they have here. Check it out. Go to prepwithgreg.com and see what's available. If you're not interested in that, hey, they got a 1-week emergency food supply, and you can get a discount on that too, but it's not nearly as good as the discount over here. Nowhere near as good. So I'd urge you to buy several of these and stock up while you can. But, you know, for other prepping supplies, what you're really going to need now, just click on the logo right there, and it takes you and you get water filtration, air purification. You can get all kinds of survival tools, items, cooking gear, power, lighting stoves, fuels, first aid, survival books, emergency food. I mean, you can get bigger. You can get to number 10 canned food. You can get 1 year supply of that, which is also pretty cheap. You got all kind of bargains in here. So go in to prepwithgreg.com, and you'll find these things available to you. So sure on that. So, all right, on with the story. So what's happened is the U.S. Naval Institute has published papers written by former Deputy Director of the CIA, Michael Morell. I think I'm Morell from some physics stuff, okay? And ex-Admiral James Winfield. And Michael Morell and James Winfield are warning us that Xi Jinping will likely take China by, that it will take, well, actually, Taiwan considers itself the Republic of China, and mainland is a People's Republic of China. So we have two Chinas. So pardon me, you can see how I can trip on it. People from both places will tell you they're Chinese and that they are China. All right. So what they have warned us is that the PLA will take Taiwan, the Republic of China, by mid-January. And they believe this will happen while the U.S. is occupied with the things going on post-election. For some reason, they think that's going to be a little worse than the pre-election October surprise things. You know, there's probably, you know, I've talked about the possibility we'll have a lot of disaffected, unhappy people, whichever way that goes. And yeah, you could have a lot of consternation going on here in the United States. So under the cover of that and the bug that's going around, which we're all familiar with, which is thought might get worse at that point in time, wave number 2, maybe, or revamping of wave 1, however you want to count it. I'm not going to split the beans on that, but they're thinking that the United States will be quite occupied in that time and that they would strike accordingly. As I know, I've done a video already where I talked about having amphibious vehicles being staged right now on the coast of China, right across from Taiwan, you know, right on the Strait of Taiwan right now. So it's interesting that ex-admiral, we call him admiral actually, we call him, you know, general, and admiral, right? He's retired Admiral James Winfield and the former CIA Deputy Director Michael Morrell. They're the ones who were writing this under the U.S. Naval Institute again. Let's repeat that so you get that down. All right. So what they actually say is they think there's a highly suspect timeline. They think it would actually begin about the 18th of January, just right before the inauguration. While we're getting ready for the inauguration, that's kind of when they kind of expect these things to happen. And so what they would anticipate is that China will launch major cyber attacks on the United States to cripple our country's power grid. And they claim other utilities. Well, excuse me. Hey, Admiral and ex-CIA Deputy Director. Hey, in case you didn't know, if you take down a power grid, you take down all the utilities. Yeah, it is the linchpin. You take down the grid, you don't pump fuel, you don't pump water, no, there's no communications. Yeah, all the utilities go down. So, but maybe they're thinking it would be spotty, so they would attack around. And I think that would all occur via cyber attacks. Now, some of you may recall, I did a video with Stacy Savicki of, and she told us, Stacy Savicki of Sustainable Steward, she told us that she sees she's had this vision, she's had these dreams reoccurring of two missiles coming up off the coast of Venezuela and cause an EMP attack on the East Coast of Mid-America, right in the middle of the country. Now, it's interesting. She comes from a farm background. Great lady. She's got a good Prequel channel. Sustainable Stewards, check it out. But she had no knowledge about these kind of subjects or these things or military strategy. And I'm going to tell you that is the perfect, you know, who did it kind of way to do a sneak attack coming under our southern underbelly. And there's so many players down in Venezuela doing it off the coast of Venezuela, you wouldn't know directly who did it. And so there's all kind of deniability potentially in an attack like that, if that were to occur. But she saw that happen in December. And I would tell you from my experience, I'm always thinking the United States is most vulnerable around Christmas time. Most of the troops are home. Or just right after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year, somewhere in that time frame. But that's only a couple of weeks off, maybe 3 weeks off from what Admiral James Winfield and former Deputy Director of the CIA, Michael Morrell, have in mind. So, you know, we're talking about a 3-week margin here from one idea to another. Now, is this going to happen? No, I'm not saying these things are going to happen. And I'll also tell you that I'm not talking ill about the people of China. You know, hey, look, we got 2 different Chinas here. Taiwan and also mainland China, which is being run by the CCP. And I'm going to tell you, there's great people in both places. It's the governments that run places that create the divisions. I tell you that all the time. There's great, smart, heartfelt, good-hearted people all over the world, in every country, by every color, creed, shape, whatever you want, however you want to cast it. There are good people. There's good people. There's good and bad anywhere in the world you go. And probably the good people outnumber the bad people most of the time, but a lot of them get kind of mesmerized and led around by the people that tend to lead. And you know, maybe once you go up the top, you tend to be more and more of a sociopath or psychopath, especially in tyrannical governments. That's what we've got with the CCP. So that's what I would worry about, is that, and the reason they see this happening, by the way, it's the same thing I've been talking about all along. We're talking about the unrest that's brewing up in China right now. They really think that Xi Jinping is going to have to do something to distract his countrymen, to make them feel like they got a big win, that he did something great and wonderful for them, and they made a major accomplishment, major headway. Also, countries are less likely to change horses in the midst of a war. So they think that he will do this basically out of the scenario that I talk about of wagging the dog, you know, just to distract the people, to make them feel happy and comfortable. We're accomplishing things, to get their minds off the whatever they're dealing with, because China is in dire straits. Hey, have you heard that in North Korea, the government has commanded everybody to give up their pets to be used in restaurants for meat? Oh my God. Oh, aren't you glad you're not in North Korea or China? But it may not be that good here soon. That's why you need to prep. You seriously need to prep. So they also anticipate that China will send strong non-interference signals to the United States. They'll send a strong signal not to interfere. And they're anticipating this because we've been quite active in the area. Remember that little video I just did about Taiwan where I said we had 67 reconnaissance aircraft flying around the area in the month of July? Yeah, we got maybe more now. Plus we've sent 2 aircraft carrier fleets right into the sea, South China Sea. But it gets more interesting because actually China is already warning us vis-a-vis these aircraft, because what China has also done is that they have put out, the People's Liberation Army has been posting stuff on social media. And the stuff they've been posting on social media deals with Hong Kong air defense drills. And the crazy thing is, they're putting out videos and they're putting signs in these videos that are in English, like Hong Kong in English, not in Mandarin Chinese that you would expect. And it's thought and believed by certain people like Anthony Wong, who's a military analyst with the International Military Association, that they're doing this clearly to send us a signal to not interfere in this. So what the Admiral and the former CIA director are anticipating for Taiwan, China is already doing right now vis-a-vis Hong Kong. Yes, they're already sending us these non-interference signals. And they're already saying things like, you know, that they're trying to parade the blue banner Hong Kong people, which are the ones that sided with China, versus the yellow banner ones, which are the ones who rather be independent or left alone, at least allowed, you know, their time. They were supposed to have the 2047 before China took them in. Of course, they wouldn't have been happy then either, would they? But that's what the treaty called for. You see how China honors treaties, right? So why is China so aggressive? Interesting. Anyway, so the video did list Hong Kong's name in English. And Wong said the PLA sent a message to the U.S. And the message, if you come near Hong Kong, we won't hold back. That's how Wong saw it. And again, he also saw this as a response to these reconnaissance flights we've had going on in the area, in and around Taiwan, and probably going a bit further south. We've probably been close to Hong Kong with these 2. So there you go. And another thing to be aware of is we sent Secretary Azar to, he was the Health and Human Service Secretary, Azar, to Taiwan, highest level official to visit Taiwan in 47 years. And China got infuriated. We're talking health and human services. We're talking, you know, programs to take care of people, make sure they got housing, they're eating. Why was that considered such a threat? And what Taiwan did is, I mentioned in my previous video about not what China, the People's Liberation Army, let me be clear. What the People's Liberation Army did is they sent fighter craft in the area, which I mentioned that. Also, they did live fire missile exercises near Taiwan and Guam. Now, you know, the sources said in Guam is a major U.S. air base and missile naval base and U.S. territory. Guam is U.S. territory. In Guam, you vote in the presidential elections. You are United States in Guam. That's U.S. territory. The people in Guam are U.S. citizens. And Guam is, you know, a far piece from Taiwan and South China Sea, but of course that don't stop China, right? So my friends, we got 2 fronts that are cooking. We'll either get hotter. There's a lot. Well, look, China's already making moves on Hong Kong. They really are. Why do they pass this new Security Act? I mean, they're really ratcheting down fast, and there's all the signs of ratcheting down faster. China has been mounting amphibious vehicles off the Strait of Taiwan, as I showed and talked about in our last video. We've seen that. We know that. They're doing that right now. Of course, they did have one that sunk in 30 seconds. Maybe they got some problems. Maybe their manufacturing or quality needs a little work. So we'll see how all this pans out. But there are definitely things afoot to have your eyes wide open and head on a swivel for. I'll tell you, that's what you need to do. And that's why I bring you news items like this, so you can be aware of why you need to prepare and get ready. I'm telling you, my friends, we are in the eye of the storm, but the eye wall is coming at us fast. So you need to get ready now. You need to go out to grocery stores and buy beans, buy rice, buy canned meat. I may go more into that in the future. Peanut butter. Holy smoke. I'm going to tell you what, I like peanut butter. I get lots of it. I thought I had a jar standing next to me, but I don't. Listen, peanut butter lasts a long time and gives you a lot of nutrition. It gives you some fats and some proteins, and it's just really good to have. And hey, I love it. Greatest invention of George Washington Carver, one of my favorite scientists, because he invented peanut butter. he lived in Alabama, toward most of his end of his professional career, by the way, at Tuskegee Institute. So, okay. One other thing you need to know is still buy seeds. When it all goes down and you have to move. One, hey, buying the prepping supplies I mentioned are easier to move than bulk cans and stuff. Because it comes with carrying handles and stuff I was showing you, the 2-week, 4-week supply of food on prepwithgreg.com. Also, seeds are very portable. I did a video, Seeds of Survival, some time back, talking about how the Cherokee valued those seeds so much. And furthermore, if you need a garden and you need heirloom seeds to garden with, so I'm going to do one more screen share. We can go back into this stuff. And I'm going to show you True Leaf Market. Go here. Links are in the show notes and in the pin notes on most of my videos. So go to True Leaf Market. You find my link to it. It will help my channel. And you can buy all kind of wonderful garden seeds, microgreen seeds, microgreen supplies, sprouting seeds, wheatgrass. You can get all kind of supplies, just things that you need to make all this work. Now you can't grow cats and dogs from seeds, but you can get products for them. And furthermore, they tell you how to grow things in here. Great team of people there. They've got a support service. If you have any issues, just call them up. But there's a lot of stuff to get here. Hey, if you want to do microgreens, the BioStraight mats I've been telling you about, micro mats, just different things. Go to my channel and look in my videos. I'll show you how to grow microgreens in your living room in case you live in an apartment in the city and can't do anything otherwise. But and if you do live in the country, hey, that's still a great way to grow some fresh greens, especially in the wintertime. They're good. I do it. See my videos. All right, so that's really what I've got to say about that. Let's stop this share. My links on my clicker pages. Now it's kind of aggravating. This tool has a drawdown menu for sharing and controlling it, but it just goes right over the top of all the tabs for Google. Or any of the other search engines these days. They're all the tabs at the top, and they're overlaying each other, kind of fighting with each other, so it makes it kind of hard to use them. But again, most importantly, go out and prep. Do everything you can right now. Get your tools. You may not have any power. And when you have power, it gives you a little edge, so you can get solar power and things like that, rechargeable batteries. But remember, all that stuff will eventually wear out, and there may not be any replacements for that stuff. So do get as much manual tools as you can. I've been doing videos on that. I will probably do some more on that and go more depth. I did garden tools. Now I went to hammers. I'll do some other topics in the tool arena. But you definitely need tools. You need food. You need to be able to purify water. I got a video on doing that, by the way, purifying and sanitizing water from using 2-liter bottles and just plastic bottles, and talking about the different merits of the different filters out there, like the Berkeleys, the Pore Pures, the Sawyer straws, and all these things. I've covered all of that, the strengths and weaknesses of all these different techniques and methods. Also, maybe most importantly, get centered. Get right with your maker and understand what can hit you. That way you won't be in cognitive dissonance. You won't be in shock when it happens. You'll be able to think and operate. Don't panic. Don't ever panic. Like I said, there are channels out there that says, well, I tell you when to, don't panic now, but I'll tell you when to panic. You won't get that from me. That's irresponsible. Don't ever panic. If somebody's standing you about to punch you in the face, Don't panic. You don't think. If you want to fight good, think. Be calm. Don't unnerve them, especially if you laugh at them. Kind of disarms them. They go, what? Huh? What? And that moment of uncertainty is when how you, if you have to. I don't advocate that, by the way, but I do advocate you taking care of yourself. You defending yourself. Don't ever be aggressive. Don't be the aggressor. There's no point in that. We need to find peace in this world. This world is a powder keg in every regard. It's scary in that regard. And a lot of people don't realize what they're asking for by ratcheting up the tensions or ratcheting up the day. You know, sometimes if you ask for something, you just might get it. That's the curse that's coming to a lot of players that are out there today running around doing things. So I tell you, I've said it over and again and again, we all have the right of redress. We all have the right to assemble, to petition, even to protest. But you don't have the right to destroy other people's properties and lives. Two wrongs don't make a right. You don't win the hearts and minds of people by smashing everything they've worked so hard for all their lives to attain. That don't work. That backfires big time. And it's wrong. This is flat wrong. Two wrongs never make a right. Do what's right. Go out and be the light. Send your love to the world. Let's see if we can turn this around. Let's pray. If not, be prepared, not scared. Because the objective of my channel here is to help you survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. All these things are coming at us. All these things are challenged. But if we keep our heads on our shoulders, our eyes wide open, right, then we have the best chance of that. And we're going to work together. We're starting to reinvigorate now the work on the survival tribes. Email me at hal5space@aol.com. I'm still not getting clear here. It should be below. All right, tribes in the subject line. If you're interested in my future freedom, my Freedom Restoration Foundation, which we're just getting started up, put freedom in the subject line. We're going to try to push for restoration of these things that are our rights, the things that are so much challenged today. We have our rights. They're just not properly recognized. So hopefully we can bring the awareness that's needed to get our rights properly recognized. Now we're going to be very active. We already got people writing letters, contacting state representatives. We're racking up, and we've got a spreadsheet for all kind of bills that's sitting in the Congress and various subcommittees. So we're strategizing right now to try to change things and turn around. So join with us. We could use help organizing and launching this effort. But we want to be positive. So be the change that you want to see. And thank you for watching.